So I did the gig with the band from the UK last night. Another gig. They're called the Baldy Holly Band. And there was a new drummer, which I didn't know about. A different drummer. It was his second gig with them and my second gig. I was on bass, Tony on guitar. He's from the UK. And Jamie is the singer, who normally plays rhythm guitar, but he broke his finger. So he couldn't really set the tempos. We had to somehow agree what the tempo and the feel was between three guys that really had never played together. Four guys. Kind of interesting, but I got a little bit, what do you call it? Sometimes when I'm on stage, I get a little, it's almost like an out-of-body experience where I start kind of like floating. Disembodied, that's the word. And it doesn't freak me out, but I just get a little bit like, whoa, where are we? What's happening? Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe, but I started confusing what song, we did some Elvis and Buddy Holly, and they started all sounding the same. And I'm like, I looked at the song list. I didn't know if he was like scrambling the song list or if we'd already played that song. I looked at the set list and I'm like, is his set list the same as mine? Because it just seemed like he was calling them off. The set list wasn't making sense to me for a minute. And I did not use any intoxicating substances. I was just on coffee, strong coffee. And that's it. And I still get this disembodied feeling. So I go, what are you following the set list? And he goes, yes. And and the singer said, we're playing this big opera house, a pretty big place in Elkader, Iowa. And he was showing me the set list. It was kind of funny. I go, and them being from the UK, I go, is that in English? And he said, that's the King's English. So we turned it into a little bit of a joke around thing. But the riffs, I was doing a lot of. So you can see why they started sounding all the same. Everything was either or everything was in the key of A, as it should be. All right. Or so it could be. Or it was all basically that. Or it could be. Or how about this one? Something like that. It can vary, and I just kind of mixed them all up, right? Or oh my God. Okay, here's something that I might do with a D chord. Check this out. And this they question this. Here's D, the root, the third, and the fifth. That's a D, F sharp, A. Sometimes I'll go, instead of playing the same old, riff, I might, before I get to that, I'm going to kind of invert that. So that's same note names, just, I did a lower F sharp and a lower A. So instead of just you can kind of go down instead of going up. So the root is the highest note, and then all those other intervals are underneath it. So I just say we're inverting it. We're doing like an inversion of the riff is what I'm calling it. So that's D, F sharp, A. Let's just move it up to E. So I'm just doing it kind of by shape, you know. Once you know the shape, you don't really have to say, ooh, that's a G sharp, that's a B. You just, or let's say we're in E flat, or F, or G, or A. I don't have to know every note. I'm doing it by shape and sound and muscle memory. Anyhow, so let's look at this another way. How about instead? That was inverted of. Kind of sounds like a bass part. So what I was doing was D, F sharp, G. Oh yeah, I have to get back to another point. G, G sharp, A, B, C, C sharp, and D. So it's got some chromatic runs. Now, if you were my student, and I will get back to the point I wanted to make, but if you were my student and I'm like, okay, let's learn these notes, learn this pattern, you might question me because it sounds, okay, that's the root, that's weird, and then like, huh, and then you're like, what's up, man? That note sounds kind of sour, teacher. I think you made a mistake. I'm like, oh no, that's, yes, the note, if you stop on that note, it is going to be dissonant. It's going to be a flatted fifth. Sounds very broken. But if you keep moving, like I told you, it'd be, you don't notice it. And on the other line, it's like a D flat. If you compare it to a D, yes, it's dissonant, but you keep moving. That momentum, that's my word of the month, is momentum or propulsion or something like that. You keep it rolling. You don't stop on a weird note and think about it. You play the song. So it doesn't sound weird when you keep it moving. All right, so the question that the band guys had the first time I played, when it was a D, the root is D, I played the third in F sharp. They both like said, whoa. They wanted to discuss that note. And I go, it's a major third. And I don't know if they are like trained, you know, in intervals. Some people just play rock and roll by instinct. And I think that's what these guys do. They're just like ear players with no training. Not that I'm that well. I'm just trained by playing gigs and reading. I took some vocal lessons, but I've not taken college courses of music. But I guess I kind of made my own college of music. So anyway, they said, what was that? You know, I think the song was like, let's say it's in D going. And somehow, instead of I don't remember what key, but instead of playing a D chord or note or riff, I just played that third. And they're like, what? I go, dude, it's a third, come on. So let's say we're going A, D, A, E. A, D, A, E. Let me do that again. A, D, A, E. Just like eighth notes. Check this out. Now I'm going to substitute that D root for a third, the F sharp. Let's see if it sounds, I'll try to slip it in somehow. Oops. Yeah. One more time. maybe that's not the best example. Let's even double down and do the third of E, which is G sharp. So let me refresh your ear. D, E, or A, D, E, sorry. I'm still pretty tired. I didn't sleep a lot the last week. A, D, E, or 2 weeks. A, D, E. Now I'm going to play. Those are the thirds. Root, third, third. A, F sharp, G sharp. Let me do it. Let's even triple down and do the third of A. Let's say the band is going. Now, I wouldn't really play it like this. This is all theoretical. You can substitute the third for a root if you're getting that disembodied weird feeling of repetition. You're starting to zone out. It's the same thing. And you want to just break it up and put in a different other than roots, which I really concentrated on playing really simple just to keep it clear, keep a good foundation. But occasionally when I play bass, I like to throw in a little something in the right spot. It can just to make the bass, give the bass a little bit of interest. So I'm going to play the thirds. C sharp, F sharp, G sharp for A, D, E. Now roots. I wish we had a second guitar player to play, but I promise these can work. Hitting the thirds instead of the roots in the right place. You'll have to judge for yourself when that exactly is. I can't tell you, but if I had a bass player that would throw in a third now and then in the right place, I would be kind of tickled. I would think, man, that's cool. And maybe if you put it up higher, in the right place, it really adds a little bit of a boost, or it pushes the song through, and again, makes it a little more interesting in the right place. So yeah, I was playing a lot of those, kind of things. We did play The Wonder of You, an Elvis song, and I got a little bit of me and Tony got together, and he wanted me to go, I just thought, I wrote down just G, but he wanted me to ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum. Oops. A. What goes next? What key are we in? Something like that, some walk-ups to the G anyway. There's one fun thing in that song. It goes G, and then a B. Then there's this like, the magic that you do. That's so... So I like that climbing. The reason why, the magic that you do. That's like a whole tone scale. All whole notes, or what am I saying? A whole step between. And I even did it. All right. I gotta tell you, why does it end there? Why that note? Because that's a G sharp, and that's an E chord. Yeah, that's the third of E. So it's like a G to a B, a C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. And, that's something I actually had to practice and learn. But the rest of the stuff was kind of instinctive. So that was one I had to prepare. And we did only The Lonely by Roy Orbison. I just watched Tony's hand, because their arrangement was maybe not exactly like the record. And I learned the record, and I think they did it in a different key. I learned it, I think, in F, but they did it in G. So I just watched Tony, watched Jamie, and I was to the right, Tony was to the left of me, and he would turn his hand. I could see clearly, him making the chords G, C, D, etc. And it was very easy to follow Tony. So yeah, man, it was neat because the English guys, they loved American rock and roll, while being an American guy, I love English rock and roll. I'm like, man, you're from the land of the Yardbirds, Led Zeppelin, Jeff Beck, Peter Green, the Beatles and the Stones, and Rod Stewart, and Free, and man, Clapton, Countless, The Who, Magical, wonderful, amazing. I love them, and they love the American rock and roll. So we just really bonded over that. So I hope I get to play with those guys again. It is kind of an oldies rock and roll thing, but that really kind of is my deal. I love it very much. I love everything, but that's one of my favorite genres. And if you're interested in why, I guess when I was a young kid, I knew there was bands playing like 50s rock and roll. When I was, in the mid 70s, there was retro bands playing 50s, and that stuff didn't seem quite so old then. And there was young guys playing it and older guys playing it, and it was like, man, this stuff looks pretty exciting. I thought it was kind of maybe punk rock sounding, because I was playing kind of a lot of punk rock, sort of. I was actually playing a lot of stuff like the Ramones last night, just trying to keep that driving bass, just keep pushing. And they did reference the Ramones when we were talking, but that's how I kind of got into 50s rock and roll. Had some Beatles albums, like Roll Over Beethoven. I'm like, I was looking at the record, it said C. Berry. I'm like, wonder who C. Berry is. Then I learned about Chuck Berry. I'm like, oh, well, obviously, if you know rock and roll, you have to know the blues, and it all kind of came together. But anyway, I used to see these 8x10 promo photos of local bands or touring bands or whatever, small-time bands, 8x10 promo, glossy black and whites of these guys, kind of chunky guys in those tuxedos with the ruffles, and the guys always had big square heads and big weird 70s hairdos, and maybe some weird shades, and maybe some sideburns, and a little traces of sculpted beards. I'm like, who are these guys? Why are they getting paid? I want to get money. I want to play. I want to get a gig, man. And I knew they were doing some of that 50s rock and roll stuff. I'm like, man, I'm going to get some of that money. I was really ambitious. I was tired of being ignored and not getting any gigs or nothing, just being a complete nobody. I thought, man, I'm going to get in there. So that was my motivation. Kind of complicated, but now I'm the fat old guy with the weird hair, man. So I guess I hit my goal there. So yeah, man, it's really fun to play the bass. So if you play guitar, you should probably play the bass. And when I work with bass students, don't be one of them three-fingered guys. Get your pinky in there, 4 fingers. I got guys I gave lessons to. Everything's going to be shift. If they're 3 fingers, it's like, get that pinky in there, man. Just be a note maniac. Just make your hand work. If you're older and your hands feel pretty sluggish, It's going to take time. I do have students, some female students that are like, well, Brook, I'm pretty old. I'm like, you're younger than me. And I'm weak. I'm like, yeah. And, all these excuses. I'm like, yeah, I understand. But over a period of time, their hands start coming, they start waking up. Their hands start to work. So look at your hand and start developing. If you're older, I'm saying there's a good chance you can overcome that stiffness or lack of flexibility, build some strength. I see it in people. Some of my students have really swollen knuckles from arthritis or some rheumatism or something coming in, and they can improve. People that really don't practice a lot, stay with it though. And I'm like, okay, they want to learn a special song that's maybe got a bar chord. I'm like, we're gonna do a bar chord today, and this is gonna suck, but try it and then crush down flat and strum, and they can do it. So if you stick with it and keep working those hands, you will be able to grab some of this stuff, And so I recommend sight reading out of any method book. I like that progressive series, book 1, beginner guitar. Or you can get my books. They're okay, pretty good for chords. Any chord book, any method book, any beginning guitar book that's got sight reading, do that. Hit your scales, hit your chords. Look up riffs, arpeggios.